Just wait just a few minutes till we go live and then we'll be good. Just gotta wait for.
Why aren't you wearing your shirt?
Because I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I did. I forgot all about it. I was more worried about dinner. Trying to get dinner on. No.
Can everybody hear us okay?
No, there's nobody on.
Oh.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, there's one person.
Hey,
Okay.
well, look and see if we're live.
Okay.
I didn't bring my phone.
Can everybody hear us okay? Nope. Yeah. Well, I can hear myself. So.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
All right. We can hear. Yay. All right.
Good dealio.
Yeah. Didn't have any issues this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, given that we're home.
Yeah, of course. No Mercury retrograde foolishness.
Yes.
Foolishness. Okay. Well, this is, the screen is a little small, and the reason for that is because we're also on Instagram. So we have to go this way and not this way like it normally would be. So, and if you guys have never done one of these with us, it's pretty easy going. We are just here to help you guys answer questions when it comes to anything crystal related, or, what crystal is going to be best for what type of stuff. So this is a good opportunity to kind of help everybody out when it comes to, selecting and figuring out what kind of crystals work for them. So,
yep. And super informal, guys. However, just try to maintain the composure on just asking questions about crystals, because that's what the crystal Q&A is all about. Yep. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and get started with the first question.
We just answer questions when it comes to crystal stuff. So that way you guys are a little bit better informed. So hang on one second. I'm gonna go. You watch this. I'm gonna go grab.
Okay.
What crystal helps with astral traveling?
Ooh, well, any Synergy 12 crystals as well.
Phenakite. I know phenakite definitely will. What am I trying to think of? It's azestulite. Is that the white one?
Yes, azestulite and phenakite are part of the Synergy 12, which has been dubbed by the famous author Robert Simmons. So we have entire Synergy 12 crystal kits. Actually, you know what? I ran out of Brookite on my last exotic sale, but I have 10 more pieces coming in, so we will be making up 10 more kits anyway, because those things sell super quick.
Yeah, they do.
Azestulite is one of the highest crystal clear quartz that there is, but most of the azestulite pieces are actually going to be mostly milky quartz that are found in Northern Carolina. Okay. Phenakite, we just got in a small batch of like bite-sized pieces. So if anybody wants help in astral traveling, stick the piece of phenakite over your third eye, and it's the most affordable phenakite that we've ever offered. I think it's only going for $24.44.
It's actually really cheap. Usually phenakite's running you about $100. Doesn't matter really what size.
And they go by gram too, so that's why they're bite-sized pieces, and that's what makes them so much more affordable. So.
What about tamarine? I've never heard of.
I've never heard of tamarine. You mean?
Let's see if it's called something else. Let's see. Sometimes it is.
Tourmaline, tamarine.
You mean? Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you mean tourmaline or tamarine? Vietnamese restaurant. No.
I'm hungry too.
There's tamarine. No.
I have never heard of such a thing.
It's just a tree or paste.
It might be just getting misspelled.
Yeah.
So
tourmaline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tourmaline.
Depends on what kind. Black tourmaline.
Right.
Black tourmaline's that's the #1 crystal to protect you from anything negative or negativity. And then there's like pink and green tourmaline that are really, for your heart chakra, which is all about relationships and stuff like that. So it all depends on which kind of one you're thinking, actually.
And somebody was asking in the comments about relationships, speaking about the tourmaline family, Parabot tourmaline, which is the rarest of the tourmaline family. It's mostly blues and reds put together, but that strengthens relationships, whether or not it doesn't necessarily have to be a spouse either. It could be a best friend if you're trying to rekindle that old relationship, and so forth like that. So what brings money? Pyrite, jade,
pyrite, citrine, green aventurine. Those are and pyrite's the #1. So jade is pretty up there too. So, but those are going to be the basic ones here. So this one says, I have trouble remembering what the crystals are and what they do after I buy them. What do I need to do? Well, if you get them from Awakenings, they always come with an informational card. And a lot of times what the girls suggest that they do, which I think was brilliant, usually what they suggest that you do is you put the crystal on top of the card or above it and then just take a picture, screenshot with your phone.
Yep.
So that's the best way to remember.
Yeah.
And we usually recommend that with just about everybody.
And if you guys ever lose the cards, or there are certain crystals that look very similar, such as black obsidian and black onyx and jet, you always just give the store a call. We can track, we can look up your past sales and kind of just go from there. So.
Yep. So this one is what crystals help with vein issues, varicite, and copper. So the reason why people have varicose veins is copper. It's a copper deficiency. So copper, anything copper, any of the goldstone, blue goldstone, goldstone, or red goldstone, any of the goldstones, which also contain copper, would work just fine as well.
Yep. Well, Hawkeye has copper inside of it. Golfers, and if you see a lot of people wearing those copper bracelets, that is the reason why. So.
Yeah, and we will be getting some more copper bracelets in here too. So hang on one second. It was this one. How do I protect myself from my daughter's drug addiction? She has OD'd 3 times last month. Black tourmaline. Yeah, black tourmaline. And I'm going to tell you, Mom Kunzite's probably going to be a really good one for you, because it's going to help you to be more patient with your kiddo, and just understand, Mom, most than likely the reason why she's having those issues is because of past trauma. And if she can fix that trauma, or at least start opening up and working on that trauma, they use drugs and alcohol to try to cope with trauma. And oftentimes it's an abandonment issue by the opposite sex parent, by her dad. So next one, I just tapped on what crystals help with muscle twitching. Dragon's blood jasper. I know that one helps with, especially like MS. Dragon's blood jasper. I'm trying to think. There's an agate. Rhyolite.
Okay.
Yeah, rhyolite's the other one I was thinking of. Here's this one. You can answer this one.
Malonite. It's a type. Garnet. It's a type of garnet.
It's a garnet.
Yeah. So typically it's kind of in a block formation. But melanite is what how it's pronounced.
What crystal will help me in my journey to develop my psychic abilities? I like labradorite.
Blue kyanite.
I like blue kyanite, labradorite. Those are all really good ones to kind of. And lapis lazuli would be the other one I would suggest. They really help to amplify the throat, the third eye, and the crown, and keep them stabilized. So I really like those for that one. Best crystal for sadness. I citrine. Yeah, citrine. I like a citrine. And then I'm thinking of healing. Heliodor, and yeah, I can see it in my head. Golden healer. Golden healer. So I'm like, okay. What's the difference between golden healer and gold rutilated quartz? Golden healer is also known as yellow hematoid. And so the gold rutilated quartz is basically clear quartz with these gold like threads in them, if you want to think about it that way. Now, golden healer is going to help more for the solar plexus, which is where depression lives. It brings more happiness, joy, things like that. Whereas gold rutilated quartz is going to help that crown chakra, so you can work on your connection. So there's a difference with both of them. Let's see here. What crystals help with being scared and panicking? So fear lives in your root chakra. So anything red, I really like garnet for this one. Garnet, black obsidian, any of the obsidians. Yep, any of the obsidians, and then red jasper. I like red jasper for this one too. And this one, what's good for high blood pressure? Bloodstone, hematite are the first two that I can think of.
Bloodstone, definitely.
Bloodstone, definitely. And then I would even add like maybe even a yellow opal or yellow aventurine in there. And that's going to help to open up and stabilize that solar plexus, because it's usually the emotional reason for me is lack of joy or not enough fun. It's all work, no play. So let's see. Crystals to help with the clairs. Depends on the clair. So it really does, because each clair is associated with a different chakra. So it depends. But again, labradorite is probably the most general one that I'm going to recommend for all those psychic abilities and stuff like that. Let's see
I will
here.
answer this one.
Yeah, best crystal for breast cancer. He's got the rare ones, and I've got one too.
Go ahead with the breast cancer. That's specific.
Yeah, that one in particular for me is it's usually going to be rose quartz, or it's going to be anything pink or green. But I like pink opal for this one as well. And then you've got your
the ultimate hands down crystal for all types of cancer, whether or not you're going through radiation or chemo, is something called rhodozite. RHODIZITE. I have 10 large chunks that are coming in. They are super rare because typically they come in like little baby pieces. Yeah. So we have them currently at the store, but we have to stick them in vials or lockets because of how small that they are. We do have one more faceted pendant that did not sell in my last exotic sale, since I had 2 or 3 of them. So if you want to take a look at them on our website, but that's hands down the best cancer stone.
Yep. I also like sugilite too. Sugilite's just a good all-around healer, but for that one in particular.
Yep.
And then this one was asking, explain if you can wear any bracelets on your right wrist and why. If you, very much like the mom, what can I do to protect me from my daughter? It's still sending out the energy to that person, but yet it's still protecting you at the same time. So right is masculine. That is always the giving hand. So left is receiving. So that's why we always want to wear our crystal bracelets, or any of our tumbles or ruffs or raws. Try to wear them on your left side, because again, the left side is the receiving, right side is more giving. So we always try to put them on the left side if you can. All right. I have vocal cord paralysis. Goes with the child addiction. So, and the vocal cord is because you're not speaking your truth. And I get it. I totally get it, Mom. So the biggest thing is it's sodalite. I like sodalite, lapis lazuli, anything really dark blue. That's really going to help to open and stabilize that throat chakra of yours. Hi. So that'll help to open and stabilize that. What do you need? Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, hello, sir. So would you get that one? Hi. What? Needy.
Oh, wait a minute. I will answer this one.
Okay.
What crystals helps with your body falling apart? Something new. Kel had just made up the informational card, because we were using clear quartz cards with it. It's a type of clear quartz. It's actually clear quartz on top of clear quartz. The highest graded of these quartz come from Pakistan. I just got in 10 sterling silver pendants of what is called Faden quartz. Okay, Faden quartz. And why they're so beneficial in regarding helping your body like not break apart. The way that the crystals were actually formed, there's a layer of clear quartz that the earth actually broke apart as the earths were shifting. Okay, but then they naturally came back together, and the heat and the pressure that the earth provided literally and naturally fused them together. So it's great for I was reading twin flame soul finding. But also any bone, like any mending of any broken bones, if you're coming out of surgery. So
I like Faden quartz. I like sugilite for that one too. Yep. Best crystal for preteen girl with anxiety. Amethyst. Yep, I like amethyst. I like charoite too. That's not too shabby, but I like amethyst all the way. Is usually the go-to. And lapillidite. I'd add lapillidite in with that one too. Somebody was asking, can I wear my bracelets during retrograde? I highly suggest it.
Absolutely.
I highly suggest it. Let's see here. What crystal? Good for working at Walmart. Oh, bless your soul. Bless your soul. So anytime I go to Walmart, there are 2 things that I will always have with me. No, believe it or not, black tourmaline. So black tourmaline. And then I always take my grounding pendant with me. So I don't go anywhere without I don't go into any shopping, nothing without my grounding pendant. So a grounding pendant is, it really opens up and stabilizes the root chakra really quickly. And it helps with pissiness, gives you a little bit more patience. So I like those, but hematite's a great one too. I was sick and stopped meditating. How do I get back into meditating? Baby steps. Just pick up where you left off. It's all good. So we get that way too. It's all nothing big. So just pick up where you left off. I personally like to do guided meditations. So And that's the one that, like I said, just be patient with yourself. Rhyolite helps with patience. So maybe that's not a bad one to hold on to while you're getting back into the swing of things. So,
and some people have listened to me talk about it before. She's mentioned guided meditation or even japa meditation, where you're using something like prayer beads or a mala. So you recite the same mantra over and over again. So if you have that monkey chatter going on in your brain, this will help you focus your thoughts on just one single thought.
So can I carry my emerald in retrograde? That's one of the top 5 that I would actually tell that you should, that and shungite. Those are probably my top 2 crystals for Mercury retrograde. Absolutely. Crystal for teen boy with ADHD and social weirdness. Oh, he's on my team. Oh, he's on my team. Red fire quartz.
Yeah,
red fire quartz or crazy lace agate.
Yeah, I was going to recommend the fire quartz. Charolite is also good. However, charolite is a purple stone. A lot of boys don't like the purples.
More girly. So yep. So that's why I'm like going, fire quartz and crazy lace agate. Those are the for a dude, for a guy. Finding a partner or a soulmate. That's gonna be, for me, that my go-to is gonna be pink opal, or it's gonna be good old rose quartz.
I was gonna say farmersonly.com.
Gross.
I'll add to that bronze sapphire or brown sapphire. We carry them in the store, but that is all about finding new love. That's true. The number
Sapphires.
1 bullet point.
I forgot about that. Ruby too. Had a dream the other night where I was crystal shopping, specifically jasper being emphasized. Then I would highly suggest you get some jasper. So I like any kind of jaspers, because the jaspers are get your shit together type of crystal. It's like, all right, that's it. Get your shit together. Let's go. So that's why, and agates are a little bit more working on the emotions of things, whereas jaspers are a little bit more like, all right, let's go. Like, grab your shit. Let's go. So, but I would say if you had a dream about it, I would highly suggest you get some. And it doesn't really matter what kind of jasper. What are those earplugs? Oh, I have the Loops, L-O-O-P. I get them on Amazon. They're Loop earplugs. They take about 25% of the noise away, and so it doesn't sound like you're in a freaking tin can. Yeah. I listen fan noise for meditation. That works. That works. Oh, he's wearing purple. Attaboy. Attaboy.
Nice.
Let's see. What is purple calcite good for? We don't come across purple calcite very much. When we do, I buy it. But that one's really good for stabilizing the third eye chakra. So clairvoyance, headaches, things like that.
I think she's talking about moldavite. Moldavite?
Yeah, moldavite. I heard is really good for keeping you happy. Well, it's a high viber. So moldavite's a really high vibrational type of crystal, just because it's a meteorite, a form of meteorite. So that it'll keep you happy, all right. So, but what people don't realize is it'll raise your vibration very, very quickly. So any subconscious stuff that you might be holding on to is definitely going to be brought to the surface.
Yeah, it may make you feel uncomfortable at first.
Yeah, that's when I'm like, it's a pretty high viber. So, somebody was asking, do you have to carry them with you, or can you have them side of the bed? I do both. So like today we left, I didn't feel like I needed any crystals. Right now, what I have is a shungite pyramid between my cell phone and my head. I also have a huge selenite lamp, and I put all my bracelets on there to charge. So, but selenite also helps with insomnia as well. So, let's see here.
Read that one.
This one?
The one down below.
Found my honey on Farmers Only. Hey! So,
there's a reason why you're on here.
Yeah, that's right. No, I always have to flip him stuff because I've never done dating apps and he has. So I always have to giggle a little bit because, yeah, he did all the dating apps. And I'm
not all. Wasn't on Farmers Only.
That's the only one he wasn't on. Because I'm the farm girl and he's the city boy. That's why it's too funny that he says that. That's too funny. So I really am the farm girl. That's funny.
Losing weight crystal.
You gotta click on it so they can see it.
Oh, got it. Losing weight crystal. We do have an entire weight kit. Yeah, we have a weight loss crystal kit at the store. One of our favorites, even though we don't necessarily need it, is Blue Apatite. Blue Apatite helps curb your appetite.
And yellow opal will help to work on the metabolism part of things. So those two combinations are actually really good for weight loss.
And then if you're somebody who struggles, sometimes Kel and I do too, where we have like an upset stomach, we're getting a little sensitive to coffee. I used to be a 3 to 5 cup a day drinker, and now I can barely get by with just one. I can't have more than one because it upsets my stomach. So if you're somebody with that has upset stomach issues or just stomach sensitivity, bismuth. So bismuth is also found in like Pepto-Bismol.
That's what's in Pepto-Bismol is bismuth. So
let's see. What crystals are good to make a crystal grid kit with?
It depends. And the reason why we say depends is, what do you want to grid? Do you want to grid for more money? Do you want to grid for your love life? Do you want to grid for your happiness? Do you want to grid? What do you want to grid for? So it really depends. Are you putting a health grid together for somebody else? So it honestly depends. So I always, no matter what, always get the clear quartz, for the center, and then get some, we have them for like $2.22. They're just tiny little points that you can put on the grid to amplify all those other crystals. And so what's great about clear quartz is you can always cleanse it, charge it, and reset it to whatever you want. So it's very versatile, but that's going to be probably the best bet for that one.
And the crystals do not have to be big. What are we looking at? What is that? I know, I saw it.
Is that it?
It's like a June bug.
I don't think so. I think that's a wasp.
Oh.
It is a wasp.
It's as big as a bat.
Steven,
we got a project for you.
Get the wasp. Get what? Get the wasp. Can you get him? All right. Our son just got home, and we still got 30 minutes for dinner yet. Okay, we're good.
What kinds of kids do you sell?
Kits.
I know. I got it.
You can have my kid.
We sell a variety of different crystal kits. If you go on our website, just type in crystal kit on the search bar.
I think we have like at least 30.
Yeah.
At least.
I mean, we have stuff for nightmares, stuff for grief,
stress,
travel,
travel,
anxiety.
We have the zodiac crystal kits, heart chakra, all the chakras. So, we got lots. We got lots. So.
All right. Does it matter what wrist you wear crystal beads, bracelets? Can you wear too many at once? Can't really wear too many at once, but Kel kind of touched on that a little bit ago.
Yeah, just remember that the right side is your giving, so and left side is your receiving. So if you had a choice, put them on your left side, because that's more of receiving. It just goes with the energy flow of the body.
See. Do you have any Reiki charge crystals at your store?
Yes. All the kits I charge, because I'm a Reiki master. So I charge all the kits, most of the clear quartz, most of the tumbleds. But I do that. So, and then I also have Amber and 2 other people that are also Reiki certified. So, and he is too. So that's why I'm like going, no worries. Hi, Sky. It went that way. There it is.
Can't just try to open up the door so it can fly out. So we
don't
have
it might. Yeah. See if you can just open up the door. Just open the door. He ain't going to. Hold on a minute.
Where is that?
It's right here. Well, just open up the door. He's trying to find light.
All right. Retrograde, are we safe wearing our crystals like emerald, black tourmaline, and jade? Yes, absolutely. If you weren't here before, Kelly kind of honed in on that, where crystals are absolutely essential during a retrograde like this. So let's go to the next one. Sorry to ask a repeated question. No, you're absolutely fine. Yeah, because people might see us live streaming and then they hop on. So yeah, don't worry about it, guys. You guys aren't irritating us if it's a question that we've already answered. We've done it millions of times before. So do you need to charge selenite? No, selenite is actually one of those only crystals that is actually self-charging. So think about it this way. Selenite is similar to a plug-in of kind of like where you put your other batteries on top of. So the charger doesn't actually need to be charged. It's always continuously plugged in. So let's see. Yep. You betcha, Kimberly. And Marcia, let mom do it with the wasp.
Well, I think I got him out. I just opened up the door and he went out. So
Okay.
I think, no, get down. You've had enough snuggles, man.
Nope, common one. How do you cleanse a crystal?
Easiest way, full moon. So because a full moon will cleanse and charge your crystals. So that's why we like full moons. However, this next full moon is going to be on an eclipse. And personally, I do not charge my crystals on an eclipse because it's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad. And you don't know until that night. So that's why I'm like, for me personally, I never put my crystals out to charge on an eclipse. Other people, swear by it. So personally, but I don't. But like I said, full moon is the easiest way. Otherwise, a little bit of sage. And if they're water safe, you can put them underneath some running water for a little bit. So there's a lot of different ways that you can cleanse. You can also use brown rice. I know people that bury it in brown rice. They said 24 hours, but for me, I do it for 3 days because it just makes sense. Yeah, or salt just makes sense. But don't use the salt and don't use your brown rice afterward. Just throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use it.
Can raw chrysocolla discolor under a lamp? Yes, it can. It's very similar to amethyst or any crystal out there.
Yeah.
So because what people have to understand is heat and pressure and time. Those are the 3 main factors that form a crystal. You get a AAA graded, very purple amethyst, and then you put it out in direct sunlight. That dark purple will start to fade. So then your AAA grade will then eventually go down to just an A or even a B grade.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Still holds the same properties.
Right, right. It might just not be as aesthetically
It's just not
pleasing.
as pretty.
Right.
So that's why a lot of times when it comes to amethyst, there's a AAA grade, a AA, an A, and a B grade. And usually for price point reasons, we usually go with the double or the A grade. So we usually don't do AAA because most people don't want to pay that premium price. Now, the specialty crystals or the more bigger type of specimens, absolutely. But for the majority of what we have at Awakenings, it's going to be more of a AA or an A grade, just for the simple fact it makes it more cost effective, way more cost effective. So. Christopher, chest pain, 16-year-old girl. That's going to be amethyst because that's exactly where anxiety hits. So I would say amethyst. I'd also go with golden healer on that one just a little bit. And then a rose quartz with that combo. You kind of need to hit that one with a little bit of a combo.
Oh, this is an interesting one. I recently moved into a house and found black crystals on a bunch of the doors. I'm not very familiar with crystals, and I was wondering if you have any idea of what they may be and why they are there. Hey. So you're moving into a house where people like us actually used to live.
That's actually really good. That's
because
great, Brooke.
They were protecting the energy of the house. It's not necessarily for themselves personally. It's anybody entering their house. They want that negativity to stay away.
Right. So we have that on the top of our doors. We have a piece of black tourmaline. So that way anybody's welcome in our home, but if they got some negative energy attached to them, it's going to stay outside. It's not allowed to come in here.
Right.
So, and if weird enough, if they do have something negative kind of tied to them a little bit, they almost get uncomfortable or even kind of weirdly itchy. So like I said, but having some teenagers in the house, we have it at every door. So, because God knows who they're bringing home.
We put them inside our super soakers and then spray them when they're coming up the stairs.
Legit. So, but yeah, that's actually, it's a well-protected home. So that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing.
What do you do with the crystal that falls and breaks? What does that mean? You don't need it anymore.
You don't need it. I know that sounds weird, but especially with black tourmaline, what I tell people is if your black tourmaline literally kind of jumps out of your hand and it drops and it breaks, leave it where it lies. There's a reason. It literally took a hit for you, and it's just leave it there. So I find it ironic that that's the one crystal that I tell people to come back and get another one. Otherwise, if you lose it or break it, you don't need it anymore. So don't come back and get the same one because it's going to happen again. So the only exception to that rule a lot of times is black tourmaline. And what I find ironic, it's the kids, the high school kids that are always coming in and going, I bought this bracelet like last week and it broke again. And we're like, yep. Did it break at school? They're like, yeah, I was just sitting there. I'm like, yep. So it always breaks in high school. And I'm like, just leave the beads there because the high school needs it. So, but I always think that's just too funny. Sky, that's a great question. So Sky is asking best crystals for post-labor mamas. So there's two, my top two, and it's going to be kunzite and unakite. So kunzite and unakite both bond mama to baby and baby to mama. So it's not only bonding, but it helps mom get her body back into alignment after giving birth. So those are going to be my top two. You can add rose quartz in there too, but unakite and kunzite are pretty good. And then it's the, oh man, it's not a dambarite. That's the other one. Dambarite's a good one. Pink dambarite, not the white one.
I heard people put crystals in water during the full moon. Is it good to drink the water? The thing is, you gotta be, you gotta be very careful. The safest crystal out there to drink would be the Elite Noble Shungite, the rough pieces, not the tumbles. You got to be very mindful because there are certain crystals like orpiment or bumblebee jasper that contain sulfur inside of it. So that would be our,
or like malachite with copper. So what we always tell people is when in doubt, leave it out. So, but clear quartz, rose quartz, amethyst, citrine, totally fine. Totally fine. What I usually do if I'm in doubt, I'll have my water, but then what I'll do is kind of put my crystals around it or put it underneath, and it actually does change the frequency of the water. Therefore, it does change the taste of the water. It's actually really cool. So, but yeah, you sure can. We do. So just don't put a small clear quartz point inside of a water bottle. I've made that mistake and I drank it and it passed. I swallowed it and I was like, I swallowed. I'm like, oh no. I called my doc. I'm like, doc. She's like, it'll pass. I'm like, oh gosh. She goes, you can get it if you want. I'm like, no. So, but yeah.
Nice. Will sage charge your crystals as well as cleanse it? No. They will cleanse it. It will cleanse. I just bought 2 new ones from you, rose quartz, and it says to cleanse and charge them.
So what I would do is just use your sage to cleanse it, and if you have a little piece of selenite, stick it on the selenite, good to go.
And it's part of our nightly closing procedure at the store, where that is mandatory, where the entire store gets saged. So.
Yeah, all the crystals get sage, everything, because even if people touched it, we want their energy off of it for the next day.
Right.
So that's why we encourage people to touch crystals when they come into the store, but we always make sure to cleanse everything at night. The girls are really good about it. Sometimes they do it during the day if they get a weird one in there too, a weird person.
Do you sell Devil's Shoestring?
Nope.
We do not. However, we do have them above both of our doors at the store that they're literally permanently glued on.
So I don't go to the conjure shop here in Omaha. So and talk to Mama Izzy. So she's got the real Devil's Shoestring. So
and it's amazing when somebody you could totally tell is getting out of their car, they're having an off day. They literally will trip.
They trip
coming inside of the store.
They trip on the threshold as they're coming in because Devil's Shoestring is made for people to trip. It trips you up if you're not in a positive intent or in a good mindset. And so it is pretty funny. We had a couple people that'll come in quite literally, and they don't go over the threshold enough, and they'll biff it. I mean, we had that one lady that really, she landed on her knee pretty hard. It was bloody, and I'm like, get out. Get out. Here's the black tourmaline. Oh, just go.
Best for menopausal, the hot flashes. I wake up every 3 hours.
Oh, girl. Okay, bloodstone is number 1. Hematite is actually going to help to stabilize the hormones too. Unakite and moonstone. Yeah, you got to go with moonstone on that one too.
Yeah, and
that's very feminine and it balances out that feminine energy. I like rainbow moonstone in particular.
And if you're waking up at like every 3 hours, the best place to put your crystals isn't necessarily like in your pillowcase because it's going to fall out. Put them in between your box spring and your mattress. So therefore, you're actually laying on the crystals, and it's kind of like a set it and forget it stone.
And if I'm going to put one in between my box springs and the mattress, I usually try to get the biggest palm stone that I can because it's flat.
So they're more flat,
yeah. That's more flat and it doesn't get all lumpy. So.
Yep. All right. I had a quartz pendant with moldavite fall off my neck and break, but the moldavite didn't. Can I keep the moldavite? Yeah, absolutely.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And-
stuff's pricey.
Yeah,
I would.
exactly.
Absolutely. Just cleanse it and charge it. Good to go. Yep.
All right. Oh, my Lanta.
Yeah, do the how to protect. Yeah.
Okay.
See that one.
How to protect yourself from those who try to have power over you.
Oh yeah. Gold tiger eye. I'm trying to get other ones. Gold tiger, mahogany obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
I would even go with, if you're an empath, which I suspect you are, I would even go with Amazonite on that one too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You have any weird ones?
Yeah, glendonite. Glendonite is only found in the Arctic Circle. It's one of the exotics, but we do carry it in the store, but that definitely helps as well too. So it helps step into your own personal power and have your own voice. So, company fell down over the tourmaline. That was under my first step. Is that normal?
No, and that's where I'm like, the minute somebody trips in our door too, I'm like, red flag. Like we noticed it right out. We're like, red flag, red flag. So yeah, that happens. That happens a little bit. Yeah.
When wearing your bracelets, will it hurt them if they get wet when doing dishes or washing hands? No, because the beads have a specific polish after they get tumbled. That's why, like rough crystals, you want to be mindful on getting those wet, but the polished crystals, you want to be careful on getting them wet if you're drinking them, if you're infusing them in water, because there might be some adhesive that is actually coming off that's not good for your internal body.
Yeah, so whenever I do any crystals for elixirs that I know that are safe to put in water, I actually soak them for 24 hours just to make sure. I'm just a weirdo like that. So I always soak them for a good 24 hours before I put them in my water.
Son who gets a lot of nightmares, have a dream catcher already. We do have a nightmare dream or a nightmare crystal kit.
Howlite.
Howlite is, yeah.
Yep, Howlite's a really good one.
Not only for nightmares, but also for insomnia too.
Yeah, and it's really common with especially kids between the ages of 3 and 5 to have nightmares. They're remembering how they died in previous lives. So, dream catcher, as long as he picked it out and he told you exactly where to put it. The other thing is make sure his bed is not in a corner, because corner holds residual energy, but corners are also like mini pyramids. So you don't put people like me in a corner. You don't put baby in the corner. We get tapped in and start reading weird shit. So we don't do that. And then lastly, to kind of keep him grounded a little bit, I'd get a big old palm stone or a pillow or something like that, a black tourmaline or black obsidian, and stick it in between his box springs and his mattress, because that's going to ground him a little bit more, so he's not astral traveling into places where he don't need to be going. So that'll help a lot. I have my black tourmaline by my doors, but not over them. Does it still work? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So we even have some really nice big black obsidian chunks that you can just put right outside your door too. Does the same thing. I was told at a crystal shop not to charge or cleanse my moldavite. Oh, we do.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I wouldn't know why. Yep, we do. I mean, I guess maybe they're saying that just because it's not really a crystal, it's a meteorite. Maybe that's the case, but we still do.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt if you do. It won't. If a narcissist, I can tell. I can just tell by the way they talk. And those are the ones that I'm quite literally going to avoid. I thank God for our girls there at the store. They're absolutely
they're
wonderful.
A bunch of empaths.
Oh my gosh.
They can pick up on it because they are highly in tune to that sort of thing.
And they're always going to be friendly, but it's just kind of like they'll dodge them as best they can. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Oh yeah, we do have harmonizers at the store. Yep. And I did a video on that one. I'll tell you what, it says that when you first start to use these harmonizers, and the shungite, by the way, goes in your left hand. When you start using them, you probably shouldn't go for more than 5 minutes. I'm like, bah. And so I did it for 3 minutes and my shit was spinning. So what it does is it not only aligns your entire chakra system, but it aligns your auric field, but your auric field actually spins like a Merkaba. And so it cleanses that aura and it spins your Merkaba field a little bit faster to really kind of shake off anything. Whoa. So I'm up to maybe 5 minutes now, but it'll zing you. So all you're going to do is just take the shungite in your left and the other one, whether it's soapstone or whatever, in your right, and you're going to sit up straight and you're going to have your knee, no crisscross applesauce, just be sitting in a chair and just hold them right above your knees like that. It doesn't take much. I think our shungite harmonizers are $39.99. I bought the entire lot that they had because I knew that shungite was going to be going up in price because all shungite comes from Russia and they're in a war. So I bought as much as we can. So I know ours are $39, which is a great price, but right now they're running at about $80, $90. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, we do have them, and we have the one I'm talking about with the shungite and the soapstone. That's a level 1. There's actually 4 levels to the harmonizers. I'm just doing level 1. Okay, I can't do 4. Like, I don't want to puke. So I mean, it like I said, it really gets you going. So if you can handle level 1, then you can move on to level 2. So, but it'll zing you.
And
what do you got?
And if people want to see what the level 4 looks like,
I can't do it.
It is 100% copper with shungite built inside of it, and then this is nickel as well too. So he was Russian. Mm-hmm. At the Tucson show.
Oh yeah.
He was explaining, he's like, you gotta watch out for the level 4 because there, like Kel said, there's 4 different levels. So you either have soapstone, shungite, seraphonite, copper, and nickel.
No, and there's one more, charoite. Charoite.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
charoite.
Yeah.
And seraphonite.
Yeah. Charoite, seraphonite, and then the copper, and then the soapstone. So there's 4 levels.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then we only got one of these, and I actually use them personally. These would run you about $600 for the level 4. So, yeah.
No. Well, then Chris is asking about the level 4 charoite. So that's a level 3. Mm. So, yeah. Do I get motion sickness? I do from those suckers. So I really do. Like I said, it's just yikes. All right. Let's see here. Here we go. We'll do this one. Best crystal to manifest wealth. That's going to be pyrite and citrine and jade and I think those are level 4 Carissas because those are just as much as the copper ones. So we're not ever going to sell those copper ones because nobody's going to be able to afford them. Mm-hmm. So no. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, we answered all the questions. Let's go up and see more. What does it say? Luna 2-story house, smudge a lot. Kids don't like going up there. Anything else? Ooh, if that's the case, then hit the basement. So because portals sometimes, if there is one, a natural portal, they usually start in the basement and then they go up. So if that's the case, I would probably put large pyramids of either shungite, black tourmaline, black obsidian in the 4 corners of your basement. So I would highly suggest doing that. That's going to keep the whole house protected. But if there is any energy that isn't in the home that's moving in the right direction, thinking feng shui wise, that's going to be able to help to kind of ground it down just a little bit better.
And if it's the intense smoke, if you're utilizing California white sage, you can always try Palo Santo as well too, which is also known as holy wood. Mm-hmm. It doesn't emit as much smoke. It still has that pleasant smell, but it's not going to create that massive smokiness in the air. Mm-hmm. Do witch's balls full of herbs and crystals work? Does witch's balls made of just colorful glass work?
Either ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The ones that are just glass that we carry at the store, we have postcard informational cards that kind of give the history behind them. So what the evil entities or the bad juju, they get mesmerized by the beauty and then they get trapped within the glass. So that's the historic folklore when it comes to witch balls.
So best crystals for severe anxiety. Lepidolite. So I would go with lepidolite or lithium quartz because it contains lithium inside that. So I like those for severe anxiety. Amethyst is another really good one, and so would black tourmaline, a combination of those. So terrifies, this one here said, I'm terrified of demons that come to me. Are they real? No. So, and like I said, I'm the type of person that I don't dwell on that, but people fear what they don't understand when it comes to their own spiritual connection or what they're seeing or what they're feeling or what they're hearing. And that's why I came up with Enlightenment Academy, to be able to help the next generation of psychic mediums to really figure out and tune into those without fear, and what to do if you feel a little off. But at any point in time, if you feel off like that, you just bubble up. You just say something like, God, angels, please surround me with the white light of the Holy Spirit. And then you just imagine yourself in a white bubble. You're good to go. Nothing will touch you in that. Nothing will.
Someone once told me that a crystal pendulum picks you. If you're drawn to it, then you should buy it. Is that true? Yes.
And I will tell you, when I had my old store, I had probably a 70-year-old lady come in, and I'm like, can I help you find anything? And she goes, I hear that you have pendulums here. I said, I do. And she goes, well, I would like to choose one. I'm thinking, okay. So she walks in to where the pendulums were, like just on my little display. And she goes, okay, Spirit, what pendulum is the right one for me? And I thought, well, this is just cute. I'll be damned if one did not start swinging. And I am like, and it started swinging. She just grabs it and she goes, well, this is the one for me. And then walks just to go check out. I'm like, that's it? That's it? She's like, well, yeah, I just asked. And I'm like thinking, well, duh. So now we do have people that will come into the store and ask, okay, Spirit, what's the best pendulum for me? And I'll be damned if they don't start swinging. I find it mesmerizing every time. I really do. So, but yeah, they do. Absolutely. Let's see. What should I take while traveling overseas? Malachite, gold tiger eye, or my travel bracelets or my travel crystals. I like to do shungite too because of all the EMF at airports and stuff like that. So those are my top three. I don't know if you have anything, but gold tiger eye and malachite are good travel crystals. We have a travel kit, a crystal kit, and I put them underneath the seat of each one of our kids' cars. I don't know if they found them yet or not.
Yeah, and it depends too. Some people, they have a fear of flying. So if they're, traveling internationally, there's crystals for that, or to even boost your immune system as well too. I wish I would have had that when we went out to Mexico for our 5-year anniversary, because I ended up contracting RSV when I was down there. So
you got real sick.
Yeah.
So a couple bracelets I've been wearing every day for the last couple months. They've been making me itch. Does it need to be cleansed? Yeah, because some crystals absorb energy and others kind of reflect it. So like black tourmaline reflects, whereas black obsidian absorbs. So we want to cleanse and charge black obsidian and jade more often than not, because it's an absorbing type of energy crystal. So if it gets itchy, it's absolutely time to cleanse and charge. Yep.
Yeah, me being more on the logical side, I'm just thinking if the bracelet was just a little too tight where the elastic band needs to conform to your wrist, it may actually be slightly pulling maybe your wrist hairs in a little bit of a way. So very slightly, so therefore it doesn't hurt, but then you're there kind of scratching it. So with elastic never lasts forever. It will stretch. It should conform to your wrist. So.
Right. Is anxiety always from past trauma or chemical imbalances? No. For me, anxiety is just you trying to you want to know the outcome of the future because you want to try to control it.
Yeah, a lot of times it's worrying about the unknown.
Yeah, you're worrying about something that you don't have any control over. And ultimately that's what it is. You have to learn how to relinquish control and surrender. And that's not easy to do. So, okay. I have to put cheese on my casserole. Hold on a minute. Go ahead, babe.
All right.
I can still answer. I'm just putting cheese on.
Best crystals for kidney infection and possible kidney cancer. If it's kidney cancer, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the Q&A, rhodozite, Rhodizite.
Yeah.
You Google that stone, it's hands down the best cancer stone for any type of cancer. What do you got for kidney infection?
That's anything that's that carnelian.
Yeah, I was going to mention
I'm trying to
carnelian.
think of what's the other? Orange sardonyx.
Orange sardonyx.
Yes.
Okay.
Orange sardonyx.
I can see that.
Yeah, orange sardonyx is kind of my go-to for kidneys.
Yep. All right. Is Julie's asking, is lithium safe to take?
Well, if it's prescribed,
if it's prescribed, you know, in proper doses, sure.
Wouldn't be licking it though.
Yeah, but believe it or not, lithium quartz, where lithium can actually get extracted. So there's certain crystals out there, guys, that are more expensive, not necessarily because they're rare, because the majority of them are not utilized for rock hounds or crystal shops. They actually extract the elements out of those specific crystals for their own purposes. You look at Covalite, and to answer if they're still listening, Covalite, they call that the gateway gem. Most of it is found in Peru, but now they did find a mine up in Montana. And the reason why Covalite is now so hard to find in Peru, and Kel and I, we talked to all these vendors, especially the Peruvians, out at some of these gem shows, but they tell us, they tell us that Covalite is now getting so rare because of all the copper inside of it. So copper maintains about 85% of the Covalite. So the miners are actually extracting the copper and then selling it as raw goods. And then once you extract that much copper out of that crystal, it's no longer Covalite anymore.
Yeah. So Covalite's getting really expensive, but it's a really good crystal to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let's see. Crystals to stop smoking.
So best one to break any sort of addiction is going to be amethyst.
Yeah.
And I like the combo of amethyst, smoky quartz, and gray Botswana agate. So those three in combo are going to help to stop the kind of the addiction, and then also help the body to detox so it doesn't crave it so bad. I don't know what those are.
What do you guys think of those aura rings? A fad? If you're referring to like
hematite rings or mood rings.
Yeah.
I don't know what aura rings are. I guess.
Joanne, go ahead and comment again, and we'll circle back to your question.
Maybe we need to ask Steven.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a high school thing.
Maybe. I mean, if you're talking about like aura quartz, however, that is just a titanium coating that is literally sprayed on clear quartz, and then it's artificially baked inside a commercial size oven. So you have a coated precious metal on a semi-precious mineral. So that's the only difference. And it's very similar to like the rainbow hematite rings, where it actually gets the rainbow like colors. It's just a metal coated spray on top of the hematite. So let's see. Best crystals to help with snoring.
I'm gonna go with howlite.
Because howlite does help with all sleep issues. Charlite as well.
Green fluorite.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Those might be the three best ones.
Yeah. Yep. Green calcite isn't too shabby, but green fluorite's a little bit better.
Yeah, Jolene's still saying aura rings.
I'll have to ask Steven.
Yeah, must be a fad, but if it's a fad, it hasn't trickled down into our store. Several doctors I follow wear them. I want to see what they look like.
Yeah, no kidding. Where does rhodozite cancer info come from? That's a new one. I've always known that one to be a cancer helper, beater. Let's see. Yeah, best crystal for sleep is, like I said, sleep patterns, snoring, any of that. The top three for me is going to be howlite, selenite, and
I can't find anything.
Probably gold related.
Where does the rhodozite answer in from?
I would need that one.
Okay. And rhodozite comes from Madagascar, if anybody's curious about that. Do you guys have a video on giving advice on how to start a crystal business? No, we do not, because
I'll tell you that you better have. There's a lot of competition. So there's a lot more competition now, where people think that like they can just open up a crystal store and it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
And not. It takes a lot of work, a lot of work.
And you also have to work with the changing environments as well too. What Kel and I are noticing, because again, now we have these Gen Zers where I'm a millennial and you're a Gen X.
I'm a Gen Z or Gen X.
Oh yeah.
I'm not Gen Z, Gen X.
So I'm kind of on that cusp because I'm 39. But again, you got to keep up with the trends. The trend is always going to be your friend. So now, like, we're instructing all of our franchisees get into live crystal shows, because many times people don't want to physically shop in a store anymore. I think especially with the pandemic. Oh, I have heard of those. Okay.
That's an Oura ring.
I have heard of those things.
We will do our research.
Well, I've already done research on them. And I was going back and forth. And if we're looking at the Oura rings, which is spelled
Oura.
Yeah. So if we're looking at those, I was curious. I actually was contemplating buying one for myself, but I'm kind of a skeptic in a lot of ways as well, where I was reading some of the reviews, and don't knock it until you try it, of course. But if we're talking about the same Oura rings that you're mentioning, they're expensive, but then it's a device that it's kind of like a sleep tracking device too.
It's like a smart. It's like the iWatch, but it's only a ring.
Yeah. So it measures your pulse in your finger that you wear it on, and then it'll track how good of sleep that you're actually getting. I used to have those on my bed, like it was actually a sleep app on my phone. And then I swear to you, sometimes when it said that, oh no, you got like 6 restful hours of sleep, it's just measuring, and you have to have the phone literally on the bed. It's measuring your wrestling around if you're a tosser or a turner. But so that's all I know about those Oura rings. If anybody can shed some more light, if you guys love them, who knows, we might get them in. What else we got?
I don't know that one. Hang on, I gotta check my casserole again.
Okay.
I don't want to burn my cheese.
You're giving me a question. I don't even know what they're talking about.
Oh, sorry.
What do you know or think about FLFE?
I don't know that.
What is that?
Does
that stand for something?
Yeah.
All right. Is there a particular reason that wearing Tiger Eye would have negative effects? Negative effects on you or negative effects on other people?
Right. It's very protective, so it's going to protect you from a bunch of whiny buttholes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it may actually be uncomfortable wearing some of these stones that are highly protective if you've never actually worn these before, because it's not going to give you a bad feeling. But let's be honest, some people they may feel uncomfortable because they're not in that comfort zone. Maybe they were so used to people coming into their office and then spilling all the beans and spilling all their negative juju on them, and that's what their body and that's what their emotions just felt. That was normal to them. So if you're wearing Tiger Eye, which is a very protective and grounding stone, maybe it's just going to take your body a little bit getting used to in that fact. So, why do miscarriages happen? Crystals or other things to help prevent?
Okay, so usually when miscarriages happen is one of two things. It's a hormonal imbalance, or your body is like a foreign object and we've got to get rid of this one. So also in the big picture of things, when you do finally have that baby, you're going to be one of the best mamas out there, because you're really going to understand the trials and tribulations of motherhood right out the gate, right? So some of the best crystals for that one is going to be Dambarite, especially the pink Dambarite. Unakite, I like that one as well. And then I also like carnelian for that one as well. So sometimes I can't pronounce it, Turritella
agate.
That's it. That one. That's not too shabby of a one either. So here's a really good one.
Yeah. How do I know my pendulum is really working? It's all about whether or not you already have it programmed.
Yep. If you programmed it once, you should be good to go. Sorry, my dinner. You should be good to go. But remember, pendulums they're only going to be accurate if you're asking questions about yourself. If you're asking, does so-and-so love me? You're going to get a false read. And the reason why is because you don't have their permission. So they're very accurate when you're wanting to, ask questions about yourself. But your spirit guides and your higher self or anybody else can't make decisions for you. So that's where a lot of times people get frustrated and they think that they don't work. And I'm like, well, they can't make decisions for you. You have to make those yourself, because otherwise it would affect your free will, and nothing is allowed to affect your free will. But they do work.
Can I wear moldavite during Mercury retrograde? Sure.
You betcha. Yep, you sure can.
Ooh,
Especially when you're meant.
It's a gemologist question.
Oh, that's his question. I'm gonna go check him up.
Does basalt rock have any properties? Yes, it does. So if people are not familiar with what basalt is, it actually carries feldspar within it. And feldspar, if you take a look at the healing properties of, feldspar is one of the only few crystals that doesn't just work with one chakra. It'll actually align all of your chakras. So
and it's good for bones.
Yeah, good for bones too.
I know that.
So, but yeah, even if you put in on the search bar on our website, if you just put in basalt, we don't sell that specific mineral at our store all by itself. But I know a lot of my exotics, they do carry them inside. So if there's basalt like within any of the crystal descriptions on what it's made up of, then those are going to be the crystals that come up, and then you'll be able to take a look at the healing properties and so forth. So it is 8:01, and that is it on questions.
All right.
So,
cool.
all right.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. Like I said, we like to do these Q&A. Sorry, but I keep going back and forth because dinner.
I guess I'll answer.
We'll answer that one.
We'll answer this last one for Rosie. What does a Himalayan salt rock do, or is it legit? So Himalayan salt that comes from Pakistan, it produces negative ions. Okay. Now it's such a fad where every place, no matter if they've never even been into salt lamps, everybody's carrying salt lamps. That's why we really don't carry them here in the store anymore. But negative ions, that produces the calming effect, similar to when a storm comes through, or if you're sitting by the ocean. However, with salt lamps, they emit negative ions. So if you have a negative ion meter gun and you register it with the salt lamp, it's going to go anywhere between 5 to 15. Okay, that's how many ions that it emits. However, what a lot of people don't understand is when you plug in a salt lamp and you turn it on, it actually grounds down some of those negative ions. Okay.
And not to interrupt you, but you want to keep a salt lamp lit all the time, at least in the summertime in Nebraska, because it's got a lot of humidity.
Yep.
And if you keep it on and off and on and off, your
moisture, humidity is going to start attacking the salt lamp. Yeah. Therefore, it's not going to maintain the same shape.
And it'll drip onto your wood furniture too.
Right. Now, if we're talking about negative ions, there's one specific crystal that emits negative ions anywhere between 90 to 115 all by itself. And that is a famous crystal out in the Black Hills, out in the Dakotas, and that is called euphorolite. Very, very unique crystal, because what had happened, I'll just give a 30-second spiel. Meteorite crashes into the Gulf of Mexico millions of years ago, right? It's funny, a lot of these stories always come from meteorites. However, it crashes in the Gulf of Mexico, but it pushes a lot of the precious metals up all the way through the Dakotas. And it took many, many years for this to happen, right? So the precious metals, given that they were found deeper within the earth than the semi-precious stones, as they started to come up, it formed what is known as a chimney stack. So all the euphorolite pieces are all unique and one of a kind, but they emit so much in negative ions. So they have gold, silver, platinum, palladium, zinc, copper. It has them all. And then the semi-precious minerals has lepidolite, blue tourmaline, black tourmaline, feldspar, mica. Every single piece is completely unique and different. So there's only one miner that controls access to that entire area. So when we go out to go see him, little eccentric of a dude. And the newest one that he just came out with is called Alienite.
Alien. Alien Knight.
He founded these, so he can
He
name
can name
them
them
for
whatever he
wants.
Bless his heart.
But those are kind of pricey because they do sell by the gram. So if you go on our website and type in Euphoria Light, that's why on every piece you'll be able to see the size, but you'll also be able to see the gram weight on the description. So
yep.
So,
all righty. Well, thanks everybody. Like I said, we try to do these at least once a month. So, but like I said, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you guys out. So have a wonderful weekend ahead. Like I said, try to ground best you possibly can and stay hydrated. So, all right, guys, take care. Have a good Mercury retrograde.